Okay, good evening. Thank you for coming tonight. We'd like to welcome each of you to the pre-council. We try to hurriedly go through our agenda at the pre-council meeting, so the meetings will go hopefully a little smoother and a little faster. A few things that we asked: if you do have a cell phone, please either turn it off or put it on silent so it won't disrupt the meeting. At our regular meeting, we'll once again remind everybody about the cell phones because somebody will come in. We'll have prayer tonight. Councilman Little, we've asked him to lead the prayer, so we'll stand for that, remove our hats, and then remain standing for the pledge to follow. We will have a couple of events. We have a swearing in tonight, and we have a retirement ceremony, so we'll be a little different than what our usual meetings are. Okay. Our call to order. Invocation, Mr. Little. Roll call. Looks like everybody's here, including our department heads. The approval of the agenda, and I told the clerk that if anybody has anything that we've discussed in the last few meetings or that we need to discuss before our next meeting, I felt certain we could add it on, but it looks like everything or the bigger items are listed. So is there any other corrections or additions that y'all would like to make at this time on the agenda?
Mayor, it looks like maybe just a few, maybe under the visitors where 5613, that might be Mr. Purcell's address? No? Is that it? Is that it? Okay.
It should be 5613 Park Street.
Park Street. That's what I had mixed up. And then,
For the record, Francis, Mayo is Francis. Just correct that.
and then for rail, I think it's Purcell. Yeah.
Yep.
Do I have pre-meeting? For my, is that what?
Ms. Giver, what was your question? I'm sorry.
I wasn't on the agenda, and I don't know how to put myself into the meeting.
Okay, I will ask for visitors, and after those that's listed on the agenda, we'll put you at the end of that. Okay, yes, ma'am.
I can tell that's all.
Okay. We have those. Okay, with the corrections mentioned by Mr. Little regarding the visitors, item A, making those corrections, a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Randy. Okay, at our last meeting, approval of the minutes from our regular meeting held on May the 17th, 2022.
I can do that one too.
I'll second it.
Motion be made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Phillips. Okay, tonight we do have a recognition. We're swearing in of our newest school board member. It'll be Mr. Corey Wesley, who was over here. We have the Honorable Judge Jill Phillips, who was supposed to be here at approximately 7 a.m. So we will probably have the swearing in and maybe take a 5-minute recess for him to take some pictures and everybody to get reseated. And then we will move into our visitor section. The first person on the list is Mr. Dunn tonight. Mr. Dunn, at our pre-meeting, we don't get into it and try to take care of everything. If you'd like to briefly come up and just tell us your name and make sure that, because you said the address was incorrect, and what it will be in reference to tonight.
Okay, yeah, I'm Francis Dunn. Correct address is 5613 Park Street. And this is concerning a 15-foot strip of land on the south end of my property. It's been said that my deed and everything in the probate court recording of 155 feet is inaccurate. That's only 140. The 15 is not ours. Mr. Lyons, the attorney I have representing me, contacted Mr. Minus and let him know.
Yes, sir.
He has all the documentation. That's
Yes.
what I'm trying to resolve.
Right.
That's
Okay.
it.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. We'll bring you back up. And Jay, I think you forwarded me some of the email yesterday, so we can do. Okay, thank you. There you are. Thank you, Chief. Okay, Mr. Purcell, would you like to come on up to kind of give us your name and your address, and I think it's going to be related to the,
My name's Jesse Purcell, live at 214 Pine Avenue East. The issue is the easement. The city says they own it, they say they own it. My only issue is the easement. I mean, we've been using it since we've lived there. They threw the debris in there, and he told me that he was gonna make it better. Well, he put the debris in there and just let it sit for a week, almost a week and a half, and decided to buy grass and stuff, fix his yard instead of getting the easement where we can pass over it. That's really the only issue we have with them. I mean, other than that, I mean, everything's fine. Other than them taking pictures and calling us, vulgar names and stuff like that.
okay, well, hopefully we can help resolve this in some way, and we will bring it up at the council meeting, and like I said, I think our attorney's been involved, and I think I'm a little familiar where you're talking about there on Park Street and how you get to your house, I guess off Park or Pine East over there.
I mean, that driveway's been there like that before their house was ever built.
Okay. Okay, then
The
we'll,
only other issue I have with them is, they telling people that we're white trash, just slandering us out there.
we're going to make sure we don't have any type of language like that used if we can help it from the podium, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Is Kyle here to discuss the annexation of property? Kyle, you're going to have to pronounce your last name, so I'm scared I would make a,
Rakowski, 8455 Boyd Lane. We just want to get annexed in where our kid can go to school in Satsuma.
okay. Kyle, what house are you at on Boyd's Lane?
We are the corner,
On the corner of Boyd
The new
and the
corner.
service road? Is that,
yes.
Okay.
We haven't built yet.
well, I think the planning board has got some issues going on over there, and you're real close to where you're at. We had a planning board this past Thursday night regarding some subdivision of property over there, and some questions have come up regarding the road. So, Jay, it's going to be in that same area that some of that's, we're talking about the development. We know it's going to be some coming into that area. Robert has been working with our zoning ordinance on how to comply with the subdivision property facing the service road.
Does that piece of property touch the city limits?
Yeah, we butt up to the next property that is Satsuma.
Right, and but you understand the question that's come up before the planning board that we're trying to address is the service road. Is a long existing road over there, but the ordinance requires dirt roads to be brought into compliance. Well, if it's a large tracts being developed or anything, then it may not be feasible to try to get them to repair a road that's been there for years or make upgrades to it. And the attorney's saying we may need to change the verbiage in our zoning ordinance if we're going to do that. And I would tend to think we might need to change it because that, if somebody's building a road, subdividing the properties on an additional road, I understand it's trying to do some upgrading, but to require somebody to go in there, when all those people have built houses over there, and nobody else was required to make repairs to the service road itself. So, so that's what we've been working on for the last several days, so you'll know. I didn't know you were going to come up until today for the annexation, so, that would be, We certainly want to annex more property over that way in the coming time, but just letting you know that that's going to be, something we're going to have to address either at the planning board or through the council both, so.
I was told on the opposite side, all the way down, is already Satsuma,
That's correct.
and it stops right before us on our side. So they're already down the service road, from what I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
But your property actually physically touches the city limits, not the road, not through the road, but another, the property limits.
This piece right before us is Satsuma, and then our property butts up to it, and so we're the next.
In other words, can you come off the old service road to your property, you have to turn down Boyd's Lane?
We're putting
I'm-
in a driveway.
Yeah, I'm trying to put in a
So you come
driveway.
right off service road is what I'm saying, in other words, it doesn't,
Come either way.
yeah, so, okay, that makes a big difference.
Trying to build it, they keep dumping rock there.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah, I think we know, we may have to do a little work on our side in order to do so, but hopefully we can do something to get that.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you. When the time comes, you'll need to fill out an application. We have a form for property that's annexed in.
I did come up here last week and spoke with Mr. Tom, and somebody at the front filled out something, I don't know what that was for, and they advised me to come to the meeting.
That was just to address this one, just to address. the
Yes,
annexation.
okay. I wasn't sure what that was for. I mean, once we try to start this process, how long are we looking to get this started? Because we want to build and we want to be under the city of Satsuma when we build.
It's an application that you file to annex in and then present it to the council. And
we
then-
will try to help you move fast. We didn't really realize we were going to run into this problem until last Thursday night, so we
Jay,
just
do
hadn't
we,
had
do
time.
we actually have a policy to require for a public hearing on this? I know that all that the laws requires a landowner petition and then an ordinance by city council if they vote yes, but do we have a policy for a public hearing on that?
It's in that form, I think, I don't think there is. I'm going off of memory. No, but because he's already touching the city limits, and it's a
That's right.
council vote, it doesn't have to go to another body.
Right.
If you touch the property, if you don't touch the property, it's a different way to do it.
We good then.
And
We are by the McDonald's. I don't know if y'all are familiar with them, but they are Satsuma city limits, the McDonald's.
That's kind of where, I guess my confusion is if they're already touching, why
Can we just?
can't they just be annexed? Because they're not subdivided.
Okay, I'm just letting you know that the road there is the issue that we're running into.
Well, that's the reason I was asking about his driveway. If he's coming off the service road, I don't see where there's an issue there with him
I mean,
annexing.
he's
The
not,
issue that came up with the planning commission was if you subdivide property, it has to be on a paved road. In this case, it doesn't apply, they touch city property, so they should be able to annex.
And he's not subdividing, he just wants to bring his property in.
Pardon?
He's not subdividing.
He's not subdividing nothing.
I was saying the issue with the planning board that the mayor was talking about had to do with subdividing property on a.
Oh, I understand that. I just don't see where that affects him, is all I'm saying.
But in his case, he can just annex it.
That's right.
My understanding is just the
We
council vote.
we have a form, and you need a map, so everybody can see where your property is, and description of your deed.
It's where all the trash is. All the trash cans, all the mailboxes.
I know right where you're talking
Yep.
about.
I wouldn't submit all
I will
those
speak on
photos.
that the mayor has got that under control a lot better.
It's about to get under control.
Fill out the paperwork.
Maybe we can have it by the next council meeting. We'll get the paperwork for you to fill out. We'd like to bring some more of that area into the city. It's just I wanted them to be aware of what we were,
Can we go ahead and
facing.
start the application?
Yes, ma'am, you can. Yes, ma'am.
If you want to get with me tomorrow, we can, I can. get the
Absolutely.
application.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck, Kyle. So we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Mr. Barclay,
Yes, ma'am, please.
I have a question.
Sure, please come up to speak.
In regards to that, I'm in that area out that way, and you were saying something about there's gonna be some development out that way? Is that what I heard you say? I kind of misunderstood you. I was just double checking.
Well, we know that some development will be coming when the water and sewer gets over there, we know. But yes, ma'am, there was some subdividing of property that come before the planning board last Thursday night, and there's some more we understand that's coming at the next meeting.
At the next meeting.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
There's a lot of us that was unaware. We have a group that we're a part of, and we were unaware of the meeting last Thursday.
Yes, ma'am.
And years, I have yet to be able to have internet at my house, which means no security cameras whatsoever, and it's getting to the point where we all need security cameras everywhere. So that's kind of the major thing. I know everybody's been talking about water and sewer. We all have wells, we all have all that under control right now, but is there a possibility, you and I have discussed about a year and a half ago,
Right.
about potentially working with someone to get us help over that way for internet service, or cell towers, or something?
Yes, ma'am, we have tried with our local provider here to get them to run the line down there. They have indicated that they have interest in it, but it just hasn't taken off. And we were hoping that with some additional homes, new homes being built in that area, once they see that there is continued development in there, that they will think it's worth the investment.
So is that the development that you're talking about, is more homes?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
right now. Yes, ma'am. We
Down
have.
the service road, down
Yes,
the
ma'am.
church part?
There are some down that way, yes, ma'am. I think the CC Trail has had some additional building, some there at Boyd's Lane. There's a,
CC Trails backs up to what used to be Regina Drive and was supposed to go through, but Regina Drive didn't go through, then it was broken up, and then it turned into North Oak,
yes, ma'am.
which took me a year and a half to even be able to Google my address, because it didn't exist.
I'm not quite sure how that all exactly took place there. I'm sorry.
I still don't understand it, but, okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt.
Ms. Gifford, I think you were wanting to come up before the council tonight.
Kathy Gifford, and I was late for the agenda to be done, but we'd like to use the Sarah Lynn Community Center.
Satsuma, I hope you're talking,
I'm
Satsuma
sorry.
Community Center.
Sorry about that. I'm new up here. I haven't been in Sarah Lynn before, only Mobile. For the dates of July the 7th, July the 14th, July the 28th, and August the 4th. We have gotten the Auburn Extension Program. I'm with the Satsuma Community Garden, and we've gotten the Auburn Extension Program to give an accredited class that normally costs about $200 for someone to take, for absolutely free for all residents of Satsuma. It will teach you how to, it's called Grow More, Give More certification course. And it will teach you how to work gardens in your own personal homes, or if you choose to participate in the Satsuma Community Garden, it will teach you that. We have 4 classes in the community center. The 5th class will be at the park. Those are the only days I want.
Okay. All right, Ms. Gifford, I think we understand. You're requesting to use the community center on those, that will be the evenings, what?
Yes,
the
sir. They're
hours will be
from 6 o'clock till 7:30.
6 to
We'll clean
7:30
it,
PM?
we'll get the chairs out, put them back up, and provide all the needs we need.
What were your days again?
Pardon?
What were the days again?
July the 7th, July the 14th, July the 28th, and August the 4th. The 7th will be basic vegetable and gardening. The 14th will be soil and plant fertility, and the 28th will be scouting your garden, and the other one will be fruits of your labor. And this is a step to a master gardening class that costs $200 from the Auburn Extension Program that's willing to do that free too also. As long as, right now we have about 12 participants in it. And that's before we spoke before y'all.
I have some information from a gentleman with the state that does farmers markets in Alabama, so I can get with you and see if that's a possibility to do something like that with what you all are growing, if it gets to that.
Well, we have a fall garden, and we just did a new bed, and that's being cultivated now. And we'd love to do a farm-to-table event, understanding that I'm not sure how this works, and whoever I need to talk to about whether we need a business license to do a farm-to-table event from a city park, I don't know, but we would love to do a farmer's market and have had output by some homesteaders that have asked if they can get rid of their honey and their one gentleman said, I have 600 pounds of food when I was expecting 300 pounds, and wanted to know if they could join in a farmer's market situation. And I said, I don't know that we can have it here, but we'll check.
Okay.
So that wasn't on the agenda for tonight. It was just about the educational, because we don't have enough vegetables right now to justify a farmer's market. But all of this is up here that's asking for the access to that.
Okay.
And by the way, we have 416 members now, so we're thrilled. Is that?
Well, good. I think that's enough. Any other questions for Ms. Gifford? Thank you, Ms. Gifford. Well,
Do I have permission to call you?
sure.
Yes, you can call me. Are we going to check to see if those dates are available? Mayor, are we going to?
They're currently available, they're all Thursdays, I believe it was.
They are.
They are currently available at that time. You know, the seniors use it in the mornings on Tuesday.
Are you asking for a waiver of the rental?
Yes.
Sure, that sounds great.
Okay, does she need? No, I didn't know. I mean, I'm not the one that approves that.
That's a fantastic idea.
Does she need to come fill out a form
We
for
don't
those
have any
dates?
funds, so that's a great idea.
I think you might have to take an extra step and request those dates through City Hall, and Heather can get you the form. And then I think it just has to come before the council for a vote.
Well, that's
Right.
great. I think it benefits the city as a whole in the fact that even personal gardens are going to be access to it at no charge, that if you normally would take this class, you'd have to drive to Ziegler to the Extension Center and drive back, and it's over at 8 o'clock at night. It's normally a 6-week class. We squeezed it to a 4.
Sure.
So I think it's an advantageous thing for the city to take advantage of.
My understanding from Ms. Butler was that you also needed to see if we could get this done because it needed to be in
Right.
a newsletter.
Right.
Yeah, we kind of already stuck it in there. In your water bill. He reached out to me. I wasn't familiar with him.
If you could vote on it tonight, but it is open, she can fill out the application.
Right, that's one of the reasons, that's the reason I want to come, because it is open before anybody could book it. I'm sorry I didn't tell y'all the days were vacant that she was asking for. So we could.
Do we add that to the agenda?
Yeah, we can add it to the, or just put it on one of you.
Do I need to stay for that?
I don't think so, ma'am.
Okay, I don't know.
Just come see us tomorrow and fill out the application.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you so
You'll just
much.
bring
And
that
y'all,
up.
everybody join the community garden park.
Do you want to take a picture of this?
Be I or
Oh,
they.
please.
Take a picture of the front and back and then just hand it back to me, or give it to somebody on the side. Thank you.
Oh, can I say one other thing?
If it's quick, we're starting to run into,
We do have, I wanted to say that we've had everything donated to the city. So we have a sprinkler system and a watering system there for the garden also. And so I do want y'all to know that we've been reached out to by many communities to help them start the community garden parks also. So the Satsuma community is pro Satsuma Community Parks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yes, ma'am, Ms. Gifford. Is there anyone else that's wanting to come before the board tonight? Yes, sir, come up. Please state your name and.
My name's Darrell Lee. I live in 58 Woodland Avenue, and I'm up here seeking approval for some cows. I come about 2 weeks ago, and y'all said to put it on the books. We called, got a phone call later in the afternoon, so we were not on the agenda, but she told us to be up here today at 6, so here we are, so.
Okay, and I think my memory serves me, that's regarding having cows
Yes, sir.
being allowed on the property there on Woodland,
Yes,
correct?
sir. We have, yes, sir, on the 17 acres we have over there, correct. And we have irrigation set up, we have it pastured off, we have electric fence around it already. We have a draw harrow that you can pull behind a tractor or a four-wheeler to knock down any kind of, manure or anything like that. So every step we could take as far as keeping, the smell down and keeping them pinned in and all that has already been taken, so it's already set up for it. Because my understanding was we could have a certain amount of horses, one horse per acre. So I was like, well, I don't want 17 horses. Who wants 17 horses on 17 acres? There would be a desert. I'm just trying to get like 10 cows.
Okay, well, we will bring it back up at the meeting tonight, and we can see what the feelings of the council are, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes, sir. Thanks. Anyone else? Yes, sir. Well, we've got two more. If we could, keep it brief and but come on, please, come on up.
Probably gonna run me out.
Hope not.
I was watching my name's Charles Jones. I live on Thomas Road. I'm very grateful to be a resident of Satsuma. I've enjoyed my time here. I brought this topic up at the council meeting under the last mayor. And after watching the video from last meeting, it brought it back to my attention again about the speed in the city of Satsuma, in the subdivisions. Where I live, we've got two new residents that live across the street from me, and both of those have got young kids. And at the rate of some of those people that drive Thomas Road drive, if one of those kids were to just stumble out there in that road, they could not stop. There's already been a dog killed there because the person was going too fast, and they could not stop. Now, I know they got one in Gilbert. If they can have one in Gilbert to slow people down and protect their kids, we can have one on Thomas Road and Harrison, those long, straight roads to slow people down. I invite any of y'all to contact me. You can sit on my front porch with me in the morning. We'll have coffee. Y'all can personally observe what I see every day. And there's one gentleman, I won't describe his vehicle, but he's probably 19 or 20-year-old. He thinks that's a drag strip. When he turns off of Harrison onto Thomas and turns on to Thomas coming home in the evening, he's wide open. And speed limit's 25 miles an hour. So I think it's time we start addressing that. This is the second time I brought it to the council. The first time it apparently died. Nothing was done. But y'all get to know me pretty good in the future, because until it gets put in, I'm gonna try to be up here every council meeting bringing this up. Because I think it's a topic that needs to be addressed, not only on my street. I'm just one, but I will catch a lot of flack from the people that live in Bonds over this statement I made, because they don't want it. But they don't want me driving in their neighborhood 50 miles an hour. I promise you that. But they don't mind driving down Thomas Road 45, 50 miles an hour. That's where I stand.
Okay. Well, Mr. Jones, we appreciate you coming up, and certainly we have seen an increase in the complaints regarding speeding here in the last few weeks. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can take some measures to
I know
address
it's a long,
that.
drawn-out process, but, shouldn't be as long as getting a mortgage on the house, that's for sure. All right,
Thank you for coming up, Mr. Jones. Okay, we had one more real quick. Come on. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Kathy McBride Dice, and the house they're talking about on Park Street, I watched that house be built. I lived back there in the little house where Marcy and her husband live.
Yes, ma'am.
And that easement, my mother tried to buy that when she bought that property to blacktop it, and they would not sell it to her because they said that they couldn't, because it backs up to, well, it was the Shoemakes property, but now I don't know who they are. And then it was it has a easement where we go in our back gate to our backyard, which if they close it up, we can't get in there. And then it also had the other Dunns that lived there, Tony and Sue Dunn that moved. They have a back gate there too. So.
Off of the easement you're talking about?
Off of that easement. Okay, so, I've been living there 58 years, okay? So I done watched it all come and go.
Right.
So, I just want you to understand that I do not want it closed off to where I cannot have access to my backyard. Because that's the only access I have to my backyard is back there. And we've never had any problems. Marcy and them, they know if I need to go through there, all I got to do is call them and they make sure I got a way to get in and out of there. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank you,
thank you.
Kathy. Yes, ma'am. Okay, is that, I guess we have everyone that's on the agenda and is planning to come forward tonight, so I'm gonna try to run rapidly through mine so we don't, everybody has a chance to briefly talk. I did write a letter and delivered it to Creola, to Mary Nelson, telling them of our vote at the last meeting that we would be interested in any dialogue or any further discussion if Creola is interested in pursuing the matter. It was left open to him to set any type of contact he would like, either contact me or if he would like to get a representative with him to contact me, and I could take somebody from Satsuma. So anyway, at this time, I'm just waiting to hear a response. If I hear a response, I will let y'all know. So that's. I think the pay-as-you-go program has completed. Travis, looks like they started picking all their equipment up and moving on, so the roads all look good that we have, and so they're about finished. Is that correct? Okay. Regarding the signs on Juniper that we've been talking about, we're still waiting for the delivery on those. Also in that are some of the new signs where we are talking about adding that shows the speed of approaching vehicles and the speed limit. So we'll have the speed lit up with hopefully shows what you're doing if you're going above the posted speed. So hopefully those will be in soon. So I had them to check on them today. Did y'all ever hear anything back on when they might have some of those in, Travis?
We're still waiting. So far as the signs, it takes a minute, 3 to 4 weeks before they come in. But as soon as they come in, we'll let you know.
Okay. Steel Creek, Robbie Storm is supposed to be coming out on Friday, so we can look over some of what they're doing and the permitting. I understand that they still are in the process. He told me that the Corps of Engineers required some additional permitting that they had not done, but he's going to be out to look at that and also some drainage issues that we have around, and hopefully to answer some questions we have pertaining to the Go Mesa grant that we have got to fill out. He has not given me a time that he will be available yet to make it out. Of course, tonight, later on in the agenda, we got the retiring of Captain Jana Dukes after I think about 27 years here with the police department. So I think the chief is supposed to be here with her shortly. We have the Patriot Guards. Jack, are you going to speak for them tonight? They're requesting.
Someone else doesn't show up.
Okay.
They didn't appoint me, but
Those guys, they generally show up for a lot of our ceremonial events, Christmas parade, et cetera. Any of our veterans that need, escorting or anything else, so they've been doing it for years. How about you, that, Jack? 15 years now, so.
that's when we first started bringing him to our aid.
But anyway, after our Memorial Day event, which I was going to mention in our meeting, but I'll say it now, the Memorial Day event was very nice, and the weather was good, real good turnout, so I appreciate all involved in that. Thank you. But they had asked that Dave would consider a donation, so they left something here. I told them I didn't think there would be a problem with that. I've already mentioned there was some issues at the planning board Thursday night I wanted to bring y'all up to speed on. We do have a water board meeting Monday night, the 13th. If any of you want to come, we have some issues there that we're trying to work on. Ms. Gifford has already come up to tell y'all what she wanted to, her request. And we got Sergeant Willcutt tonight. I think, have you got your monthly report on? So I think we have our, thank you. So the monthly police report is in, fire report, public works, Mr. Phillips, Mr. Little, you got the senior report given to you. Heather, did we need to do the, anything regarding what Robbie sent us this afternoon on, from Civil Southeast, or just that signature that?
Just the signature,
Okay,
that's all he said.
all right.
I did reply to Jeremiah Colby on the release of the ramp at Steel Creek. He wanted a copy of the original contract for wildlife, for the city, rented it for 25 years, I believe.
Right, it was.
So I sent that to him when he reply.
Okay, I got just for y'all to look at tonight, a rough drawing that I had Gerald to do at the Steel Creek regarding the lots along Laurel that we discussed selling before. So I just wanted to introduce this tonight, let y'all all look over and so you can see what it looked like roughly. So I think a couple of you looked at it. I think everything else is listed in the items for discussion and consideration. So that's all I have. Mr. Little, Public Services.
Mayor, I'll give that senior report, and I was gonna mention also to the ones that worked Memorial Day, everything turned out, like you say, we had a good day, and it was a good turnout. But I don't have much.
It was.
We can move on.
Good on Mr. Butler, Public Safety.
Right. All right, in the fire department, the reports, we got the type of calls. We got 53 calls for EMS. We got 15 calls for the fire, and a total of 68 calls. And mutual aid, we got 7 calls for that. And also, firehouse subs, the grants are open at July the 7th, 2022. And Chief Waits will be applying for over $40,000 for grants. And for this, we're going to use them for fire hoses, nuzzles, and other tools. And also, in the next weeks, the smoke detectors are coming for the Alabama Fire College, and they'll be delivered to the fire department. And you can make an appointment for being installed with that. So, and the police department, we got 479 calls for service. Felony cases was 9, misdemeanor cases was 47. Felony arrest, we got 2. Misdemeanor arrest, we got 50. Accidents, we got 4. And citations, we got 81. And also, when we go back, they'll talk about some of the stuff for the items for discussion. But also, I wanted to say that, I want to say congratulations to Police Chief Clint Harrell and Jana Dukes and Troy. I meant not Troy. I was talking about Kent Sellers. They're all leaving and retiring, and I'll miss all of those guys, you know, and ladies. I think the city is gonna lose for y'all. And, you know, I worked with you a long time, and I enjoyed working with y'all too. And with Troy Willcutt, He's gonna be acting for the police chief right now, and he's got a great man for that, so there's some good hands with him. So I just wanted to say that. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mike. Moving on, Mr. Skelton.
I don't have anything right now.
Ms. Reese?
I can talk more about it at the regular meeting, but, Tom had put something in my box for, in addition to the splash pad, and I know we've talked about that before, he and I, adding a feature. When the splash pad was, created, I think there were 3 extra spots for, adding features. When I say feature, I mean like, little, let's see. Have a visual aid. It's a frog feature, so, with water coming out of it. So that's what we mean when we say feature. But he has a quote here and, was wondering if, you guys would be interested in maybe adding this. So we'll look at the budget and I can talk about it more later and give you what I have. Also, there was some work that needed to be done on, the, electrical upgrade at Wright Park from the, initial, electrical that had been done. There needed to be some more added. So did that get taken care of, or do you need us to approve that? Okay. Okay. So we're working on that. Also talking about Wright Park, wanting to make sure that everybody is on board, including the mayor. I know we talked at the Veterans Memorial Day event, but approving Tom to begin work on the C&D concession stand restroom combo. And he it's one of these. I brought both. One is something else, but I can show you that. He already has it drawn up. And then we'll talk about the signs at the Bark Park. That's on B for items of discussion and consideration. That's all I have for now.
Thank you. Moving on, Public Works, Mr. Phillips.
Mayor, I just got normal day-to-day operations. I'll bring it up during the regular meeting.
Okay. Well, is there anything y'all know that we need to add on, or that we know will come up that we haven't brought up? Yeah, I think Jason already said we was gonna call that, what? J on our agenda. Okay, it's 6:44, so that gives us about 16 minutes before our regular meeting. So if y'all would like to move around and get you something to drink real quick, we will reconvene at 7 o'clock and hopefully have a nice, easy meeting. Chief, you ready?
Oh, mercy.
Randy, y'all ready? Everybody? Okay, good evening. Thank you for attending the meeting tonight. It's 7:01, so it's time for us to start our regular meeting for the June the 7th, 2022. We ask that if you have cell phones, please either turn them off or silence them so they won't disrupt the meeting. All of our meetings, we start by asking one of our members to lead us in prayer and then remain standing for the pledge. So if you're wearing a hat, please take your hats off. Stand. We're going to ask Councilman Randy Little to lead us in a word of prayer. Remain standing then for the pledge.
Lord, we thank you for the beautiful day you've given us today. Lord, we thank you for the ones that are here tonight. It's a good crowd tonight. We just thank you for them. The ones that are here that's concerned about our city, Lord, and our leaders. Father, just bless us tonight. Give us wisdom, Father, to do your will. We just ask you to be with our country, be with our leaders, Father. Watch over our first responders, Lord, and bless us. Forgive us where we failed you. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Little. Can I have a roll call, please? Heather?
Councilmember Little,
Present.
Councilmember Butler,
Present.
Councilmember Skelton,
Here.
Councilmember Reese,
Present.
Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
Mayor Barlow.
Here. Please let the record reflect that all are here, including the city clerk, the attorney, and the department heads. Next thing tonight is approval of our agenda. We did have one. We had a couple of, I think, spelling corrections that Mr. Little brought up, and Mr. Skelton was going to add item J, the waiving of the fee for the Satsuma Community Garden at the request of Ms. Gifford. Any other corrections and/or additions? I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese to approve the agenda with the corrections. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, next we have the minutes from our last regular meeting, which was held on May the 17th, 2022.
Make a motion to approve as distributed.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Phillips to approve the minutes as distributed. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, and let's show the minutes passed also. The next thing we have is the swearing in of our new school board member. So our recognitions, we would like to ask Mr. Corey Wesley to, if he would, to come to the front. We have the pleasure of Judge Jill Phillips, Circuit Judge of Mobile, out. So we welcome you and thanks for coming out, and we certainly look forward to Corey's time of serving on the board. He gave an excellent interview, and we think he's got a promising future here with us at our city. So if you'd like to go ahead and, the Bible, is that where, I'm sorry, I didn't see where our city clerk went. Well, while she's getting that, Corey, do you know most of the people here in the audience? I think the school board's got a good attendance. It looks like all the school board members are here. How about the school board members stand up so everybody would know all of our school board members? It's nice to see all of you here in attendance tonight. Thank y'all. And our superintendent. So.
All right, if you'll put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Corey Wesley,
I, Corey Wesley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
and the policies of the Satsuma City School System,
and the policies of the Satsuma City School Systems,
so long as I continue a citizen thereof,
so long as I continue a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully and honestly
and that I will faithfully and honestly
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter
upon which I'm about to enter
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Corey, before you walk away, we'd like to know if there's anything you would like to say real quick, Corey, before you leave.
Well, I just want to thank everybody so much, and thank all my other school board members and Ms. Stephanie for her advice and her willingness to be here tonight. I'm just so thankful for everyone here who came to support me, and I look forward to doing the best for our city. Thank you very much.
If it's okay with the council, can we take about 5 minutes and let Corey and his family take some photographs with Judge Phillips before she leaves? And that way, some of them, especially with the children, can leave and go ahead and but give us a chance also to have a picture with him. So we'll be in recess for approximately 5 minutes, and so we can take care of that and let some of his family and all come up. Okay, well, that was very nice. I'm looking forward to Corey serving on the board. He seemed to be a very bright young man with a lot of good ideas. I hope he can be a real asset to the board, and I think he will be. All right, let's call the meeting back to order. It didn't take but a couple of minutes to do that. The next thing on the list tonight is the visitors. The first person on the list, Mr. Dunn, 5613 Park Street. Please come up and, again, state your name and
Okay, I'm Francis Dunn, address 5613 Park Street. A couple of things I need to address. There was something said about delaying completion, that I had like a week and a half that the road, the easement was messed up. Unfortunately, my 70-year-old wife and me at 66 is moving this stuff by shovels and rakes, don't have the luxury of a tractor with a grater blade. Took me a little bit. And then I took about 4 weeks off for a triple bypass surgery. So it's a little difficult to spray gravel like that. And the construction debris was actually broken up asphalt from the driveway and concrete from sidewalks. Wasn't any wood, wasn't any nails, wasn't any sheetrock. What I'm asking for is that this 15-foot strip of property be recognized as my property, not a city easement or a city alley. It does have an easement on it, and I'm aware of that, and that's something totally separate. My attorney let me know that I'm within my rights to put a gate on the easement where when they come and go, they have to open and close the gate each time. And that may or may not be something I do. I just have time to see it. But I need to clarify that it's not a city right-of-way. And Mr. Minus has the paperwork from our attorney with the deeds and all the documentation for it. That's my case.
Okay, I think the other people on the agenda tonight were here to see us regarding the same matter. So if it's okay with the council, if we can, let's go ahead and let the others before we even try to answer anything, and that way we'll know what everybody's saying.
Okay.
Is that okay? Okay,
That'd be
Mr.
fine.
Dunn, I
Do
think
Can
between,
I come back and rebut anything if it's necessary?
well, we're not going to have any type of
Yeah.
dispute. I want
Right.
to be clear on that. But we would, if there's something that's, you really have that out. Right, but we're going to try to stay on a pretty,
Sounds good.
short time, okay? Okay? All right, Mr. Dunn, thank you, though.
Mayor, is there a map or anything that we can look at for reference?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay, thank you.
can, if you'd like to look at it. Okay, the next person was Mr. Purcell. He come up, if you'd like to.
My name's Jesse Purcell, 214 Pine Avenue East.
Right.
That city easement has my water and gas that comes down through there. It's always been there. I mean, it's a city easement. My other thing is, I got them on camera coming all the way to my front door down that easement. The cops said that even though they're technically in the easement, they can be there. But that's 5 foot outside my front door. And I don't think they should be able to come beyond their property line to my front door, especially with my kid at home. I mean, I never had this issue before. The people that lived in the house before us never had the issue. Kathy McBride's lived in the house for 17 years. She never had the issue. The house and the lane was there before the other house was ever built. Nobody's ever had issues with it until these people moved into the house.
And you said the utilities run off of Park to the house, not off of
Water
Pine?
and gas runs off of Park down that lane. And my power and every other utilities come off of Pine, come down the other way. I mean, if they own it, I don't see how my utilities can go through it.
Okay.
And like I said, the other issue is them being able to come all the way down that easement, past their property, to be able to come down there and take pictures of my yard, stand outside my front door. I don't think they should have the right to be beyond that property line, whether they own it or not. And if they do own it, then they cross the line, they was on my property trespassing, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, well, I think, like I said to him, between the pre-council and now, I think that we all understand what the issue is over there, so.
Okay, and I got a map from the tax people, and they said that they ain't paying taxes on that piece of that 15-foot easement anyway. They said it's an easement, they're not paying taxes on it.
Does your map look like that? Because
I have
this
no
one
idea
really
what that map looks like.
didn't really show, I don't see like,
This is the map I got from the tax people. This is our driveway going out to Pine, and this is the easement coming off of Park. And this is from the-
Did you draw the red lines, or?
My gas and water comes through here, my power and telephone and all the other utilities come this way.
Did you put the red lines around that, or is that how it comes?
It came from the people.
Computer does that, it just shows like when you.
I guess a property boundary.
So the 15 foot we're talking about is right here, Jay?
No, that's not, that's the driveway, it's the back one.
Here? Okay. This is part right here he's talking about.
yeah, Jason's got something similar on
Here's another one from the tax people too, I mean.
Pass that down, they got
that.
one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They got one. Yes, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But that's from the Mobile County Tax Office.
Okay,
What you got right there?
And I think Ms. McBride was here. She wanted to also speak. It's regarding the same matter. If you don't mind, if you would just state your name and your,
My name is Kathy McBride Dice. And all I'm saying is, you know, I lived back there. I've been living at 217 East Bayou Avenue off and on for 58 years. My mother passed away and I'm living in that home now. And I have to have the access to my back gate to get in my backyard. And it's just, you know, we've never had any problems. Matter of fact, they bought the house from my mother because she bought the house for me and my first husband when we got married. And we didn't do a whole lot to the house because we were gonna build a bigger house in the middle of the property. So, I mean, you know, I lived back there for a long time, and there's never been any issues, you know. When you come down the lane, there was the shoemakes that are no longer here anymore, but they owned their property, and you had to get through the lane to get in their backyard. Then it's my property, and I have to have a gate there that I keep locked, but when I need to go in there, I notify them that I want to go in there, and they make sure I can get down there. Because there's not really room for two cars to be passing back there.
Sure.
Okay? It's nowhere really to turn around, other than they have had some fence took down because they've been having some trees cut.
And we had some addition built onto the house too.
And, you know, I mean, but this has never been an issue, you know, and now it's a big issue, you know, and her telling us that she owns it. Matter of fact, the driveway they tore up, I watched the house being built, and Miss Linda, when she had the house built, her driveway was put where the city inspector told her it had to go because it couldn't go over there because that was a city easement.
And
Okay?
it had to be so far
It
off
had
the-
to be so far over, past the trees, I think it's like 5 foot past the trees or something like that, and that's why the driveway was put there when she built the house, because she wanted to do the same thing, pull in through the driveway, you know, pull in through the lane, which we didn't have a problem with her doing it. But the city made her put her driveway where it was put. Now, they've tore it up, they threw it in the middle of the lane over there, and then they planted grass over there where the driveway was. So, you know, I just don't understand why it's a big deal. It's been there, we've been there for, I mean, I've been there 58 years, off and on. So I don't see what the deal is. They've been there 3 months and they think they're gonna change the world. Well, you can't just
Okay,
go in
well,
there and take property away when the city wouldn't even sell it to my mother.
okay.
You know, she wanted to blacktop it from Pine Street to Park Street. And they couldn't sell it because of the easements to the back properties. So,
All right, Ms. McBride, I think that the council has heard enough between,
Okay.
like I said, our pre-council, and they've got some information there now, so. Jay, do you have anything? I think one of them, there's an attorney been exchanging some emails with you.
I've talked to Mr. Lyons, and he sent me some maps and some copies of the deeds. It doesn't appear to, originally what I thought it was a alleyway that's, you know, some of the unopened alleyways that we have throughout the town from the Grand Bay Land Company. It does not appear to be that, and it's not on the maps as that. It appears to be an issue that's in a private easement that existed going back in time between the prior owners. There may be an easement there, but it doesn't appear to be a city easement. Now, tonight's the first time I've heard that we had utilities running down that road. I think we need to check into that to see if that we do hold an easement for that or how that's there. But otherwise, it doesn't appear to be a city issue. Now, for y'all to understand, this board, the city doesn't have a jurisdiction to determine whether that's a valid easement that's there either by deed or by prescription. You'd have to take that up in court with Mr. Dunn. It may be an easement, I'm not saying that, but it may not be. But regardless of whether it is or isn't, unless the city has that deeded to the city in a plat, and so far I haven't seen that, it's not an issue that the city can decide for you.
oh, so you're saying we need to take it to Mobile?
Yes, ma'am.
Circuit Court, well.
Well, I want to check and see if we have an easement.
Well, they said it wasn't called an easement, they said it was called a lane. That's why they said that they couldn't sell it because all the properties backed up to it, and that one house was built back in there. And, but it was called a lane, not an easement.
Well, we'll look and see if we have city easements for the utilities, and that may be an issue that we have an easement over there and not you, that we would have had over that. But I'm not saying you're right, and I'm not saying Mr. Dunn's wrong. I'm saying that it's not a city issue unless we have an easement in there. And we'll need to check and see if we
And
have
so everybody
utility.
that knew about this is dead and gone now, so.
Well, there should be some records if we have an easement, and we can physically determine whether the lines are there. They'll know at the water board whether they're actually there or not.
Oh, they're there because, I mean, I had to pay for a water meter that got busted from somebody running over.
I'm not doubting you, but there's some records somewhere. that
And my
shows
mailbox is actually on that road side too.
And again, I'm not saying there isn't a private easement. There's a difference between a public easement and a private easement. You could have a private easement that's yours and runs with your land, but it may not belong to the city. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
Okay, sorry we didn't give you all a very clear answer on that. Mr. Dunn, real briefly, if you got something, but I think it's some more, like he said.
Here's the tax receipt for the land, 155 feet and 15.
Right. Already showed it to me.
And our deed does not show any utility easements. We researched back through probate. So I'm not sure where the water and the gas came from, but I'm not worried about that pipe. It's like it bothered me.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
the way these lines are drawn here, are you familiar with that? And I mean, does these lines, are they correct as far as you know, or does it go over here?
My property is 155 feet long and 115 feet deep. It goes to the adjoining property line with number 78.
So this is incorrect,
According to him. Right.
according to you.
Need to decide.
It's not nothing we'll decide.
Huh?
It's not nothing we'll decide.
And this is my deed, 115.
I see you got it.
It has recorded 15 feet. This is an easement, starting at my back corner. This was recorded in probate in 1990.
And that easement, though, is for somebody to get from here back to here.
It was when this was a separate lot. These were two lots, which she said should they join together. But this lot has access here. Now that this is one lot, they have access to Pine.
Okay.
I've heard both of the parties speak of this matter, and I think it's going to be very difficult for us. It seems to be more of a civil issue at this point to me, because both sides have a pretty good argument with what they're saying, Mr. Dunn, and what he's got, what's recorded, but with the utilities going across there, I just can't imagine the city of ever going in and putting the utilities there without something. I know Ms. McBride owned the property there and had for as long as I can remember, but something should be recorded, I would think, that if they was taking the, are y'all familiar where we're talking about over there? If you've gone by and looked at it, maybe.
And for the
Give us some-
council that can't see on this picture here, it don't really show it, but there's a home right at the end of that you can't hardly see it there.
That's in the center right here. And you
Yeah.
can go off of Pine or, so.
Push that back down.
But it can be a dispute, but, Jay, if you would, how about continue looking into this with Mr. Lyons and see if there's some resolution that can be made, if there's anything that can be figured out, or what we can do, or we'll get with Steve at the water board and see if they've got something. I don't know what else we can do tonight. So.
I agree. Be happy to.
Okay, is there anyone else needs to come before the board tonight? Yes, ma'am, come almost done. Please.
In the 3 months we've been there, I'm Faye Dunn. In the 3 months that we have been on this property, they have approached us, told us off, told us we couldn't cut trees, couldn't fix the driveway. It was this deep, where they've driven on it for 50-something years and never, ever fixed it. Our yard was washing out into it. So we started trying to fix the road when we run into Tom. And Tom told us he was going to sue us. And he was representing the city of Satsuma and that we were going to have to go to court. So we went to the city, downtown Mobile, and went back to 1914. We have all the documentation. It has always been a right-of-way. We didn't care about that. We didn't even want to close it to start with. But my husband had a three-way bypass. I've been out there at 72 years old with shovels and rakes, and not once have they offered to help us. They live back there, and Miss McBride's drive and her fence comes out on Mr. Purcell's side, not our side. So we could close it, and it wouldn't affect them at all. But we didn't really want to do that. We're brand new here. We wanted to try to get along, but they're not going to come down the driveway and jump on me and jump on him when we're trying to better this place. That's all I got to say about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We're going to move on to the next matter now. So if there's no one else wanting to come before the council tonight, we're going to go into our regular order of business. For the mayor's report, I covered some of these things in greater detail in pre-council, but for the record, at the request of the council, we did write a letter from me to Mayor Nelson in Creola, expressing some interest that if they are interested in any type of working with Satsuma in the future or planning, that we are open to that discussion. And we left an open-ended letter for him to review the letter, I guess go over it with his counsel, and we are waiting for a response. So once we have a response, hopefully by the next council meeting, I can let y'all know if there's anything we receive. Pay-as-you-go program is completed in Satsuma, so we've got some streets resurfaced. They look very good, so tried to thank those at the county for keeping us in mind on that. We're trying to put some new signs on Juniper Avenue showing the curve going into it, some type of new lighted signs. We've had some accidents there. Actually, over the years, we've had multiple accidents. We're trying to install some new type lighting system showing going into the curves to slow the traffic down some. We have those on order. They have not come in yet. We also have some new speed signs that shows the speed limit and what the vehicles are approaching the signs. We're hoping that will help, and we're going to have to increase our enforcement efforts on some of the streets because we've definitely had an increase in speeding complaints here recently. So, I said earlier, the Steel Creek project, y'all know we're still working on that, on the Go Mesa grant. We also have some drainage issues. Robbie Strong from Goodwood Mills and Kaywood is supposed to be out here on Friday, and hopefully we can address some of those things, and I will get back with you at the next meeting and let you know how that was going. Some of these are scheduled set for the items of discussion or one of y'all are going to bring up, but just the planning board meeting last Thursday night, there were some road issues that came up regarding subdivision of properties over on the west side of I-65. I would like for all of you to be aware of those issues. There's several things that I feel like we need to spend some time on outside of an actual meeting. So how does next Tuesday night look for everybody's schedule for a workshop? If we could do one at 6 p.m. We could. Okay. All week next week? Okay. How about the rest of your schedule? I mean, if we can.
What time next Tuesday?
We could do it at 6 p.m. next Tuesday, and we can. We got some subdivision regulation issues that I would like for y'all to just to be aware of that is going to be related. And I think the Steel Creek Go Mesa project, I'd like to get some information for a little bit of an update on that also, but some Steel Creek projects that's going on, so I'd like to have that in the parks. So if you do want to put parks, and that way whatever's related to parks, we can discuss at the meeting. So those are the two main things that we have. And also the Laurel Drive, I showed y'all, we'll try to get a printout showing some lot sizes and how it could be subdivided. So that's the third thing for the agenda. Next Monday night, we have a water board meeting. As Mr. Little has brought up earlier tonight, we have had some issues over around Hilltop and Painter about some traffic problems where the new homes are being built, and we're going to have to make some road repair over that way also. It's I don't know why they're having such problem tying into those lats over there. All right, Ms. Gifford has approached y'all, so you know about the community garden. We have the reports from the departments that each council member will give out. I think that's the main things that I have tonight. So now we will go into the reports and announcements from the council. We'll start with Mr. Little in Public Services.
Mayor, the senior report, they have 12 to 15 people down there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I just wanted to mention that seniors are welcome to come down to the community center on those days, normally in the morning time mostly. They do a good bit of stuff down there. Let's see, the Meals on Wheels program has delivered approximately 840 meals to the Satsuma residents. Our senior transportation van made 45 trips for different various medical appointments. I think that's it on that. I did mention in pre-council, wanted to thank the ones that did work Memorial Day. That event turned out very well. Also over in the sanitation department, just regular maintenance. We've got one of our trucks that's out at having some brakes put on it, but other than that, just normal maintenance. I think that's it, Mayor.
Mr. Butler, Public Safety.
Okay, the report for the fire department, this is for the type of calls. We got 53 calls for the EMS, got 15 calls for the fire. We got a total calls for 68. And we got 7 calls for the mutual aid. And also on firehouse subs, we got the grants open for July the 7th, 2022. And these grants are for $40,000. And we're going to use those for hoses and for nozzles and for tools for them. And in the next weeks, we'll have smoke detectors in the fire department. And you have to call for your appointments for installing too. And I think there will be a posting if y'all want anything for that, you know, and they're free. So y'all should get that. All right, on the fire department, for the May of crime, we got calls for service. We got 479 calls. Felony cases, we got 9. Misdemeanors cases, we got 57. Felony arrest, 2. Misdemeanor arrest, 50. Accidents, 4. And citations, we got 83. And also, during the night, I think when you go a little later on this meeting, I wanted to say graduation to Police Chief Clint Harrell, Police Captain Jana Dukes,
and I will miss y'all. And I think the city will miss you all too. So, you know, I've seen y'all a lot of times, and, you know, y'all been two policemen, and I appreciate everything y'all have. And also, right now, Troy Willcutt, he'll be acting for the chief right now, and we got great hands with him, so it's gonna be okay. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Moving on, Mr. Skelton.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo the congratulatory comments Mr. Butler made to Chief Harrell and Captain Dukes. I've been able to serve with you guys and lady for several years in the fire department, and just wish you well. One other thing I'd like to kind of expand on a little bit, just real briefly, was there seemed to be some confusion on the verbiage on the public notice that was placed over on the property on the service road. When some of the residents saw discussion of subdivision, I think they were thinking a true subdivision in sense, whereas this particular was subdividing a lot. So when you see that kind of verbiage, you know, on a subdivision doesn't necessarily mean a subdivision. So I just wanted to kind of to clear that up a little bit, because I think there was a little bit of misunderstanding, so to speak, on Facebook. So, but other than that, just only other thing I have is start getting your wish list ready, because come around July and August, we're gonna have to hash out some budget stuff. So that's all I have.
I want to make sure I said this before, because these smoke detectors, they're for free, and they're for the Alabama Fire College for that. And they're free, so y'all need to do that, you know. All you got to do it, and the firemen will install one, so it'll be good. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Mr. Butler and Mr. Skelton again. Moving on, Ms. Reese. Parks.
Yes, sir, thank you. I do want to mention that we are going to be doing some upgrade to the electrical at the concession stand at Wright Park with the all the electrical they have there, crock pots and refrigerators and whatnot. It just needs a small upgrade. Want to let you know that we are working on that. And Tom always leaves at the regular meeting, so he's usually the one I kind of look at in the crowd, but I'm doing this on my own. So also, he had mentioned that at the splash pad, the bucket drop, you know, the thing that fills up with water and splashes, it's not working right now because there's a clog. So we do recognize that, and they have a guy that's going to be working on it to get it going again for the children. Also, a couple years ago, when the splash pad was installed, I guess that was more than a couple of years ago. Anyhow, the splash pad was made with about 3 extra spots to add new features. And I know I mentioned in pre-council that we have a frog here, but it was my original plan to put a gator there. I think that would be more fitting. Anyways, Tom's gotten a quote, and I can present this at the workshop that we have.
Sounds good.
And see about the budget. But like I said, it was an intention originally to go ahead and put a couple of features in there, you know, every couple of years to make improvements. I believe we've also ordered benches for the inside of the fence, so moms don't have to stand up or on the outside. They can come inside the fence with their children. Also, was there an update on the tennis court / pickleball? I know that you had sent me that email, but
Travis went out with Public Works. They came out, American Tennis Courts came out last week and asked that we go back out and spray the cracks and weed eat. So Public Works did that day, and I said they would be coming out real soon.
okay. Yeah, just so you guys know, the only requirement that the city had on that was to treat the cracks with the vegetation. I think they had to go 3 times and do that. So it sounds like that's wrapping up, and then work should start. And weather was an issue. If it's too cold or too hot or whatever, they can't work. So hopefully we'll see some progress on that soon. Also, I know I said pickleball, but for those enthusiasts out there, there will be pickleball lines. So start forming your teams now. Also, for a while, we had been wanting a concession stand restroom combo at the C&D field of Wright Park. So these are the original plans that Tom had drawn up, and he just wanted to make sure that it was okay with the mayor and council if we gave him the approval to move forward with that project. He said he had been collecting quotes, and but he just wants our blessing. So is everybody okay with that? He'll provide some quotes for the work in one of the upcoming meetings. We do have, that is in our capital budget for, I think, $14,000. And that was a budget a couple of years ago. So that combined with the renovations budget of $10,000 gives us $24,000. I know also we can use some funding from the American Rescue Funds. So maybe we'll see, once we get the quotes from Tom, where we're looking, how we are financially. Also, let's see. Was that it? I think that might be it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to Public Works. Mr. Phillips.
First thing, Mayor, we skipped over talking about the annexation of Boyd Lane. Did they need to make a proposal during this official council meeting for that, you know?
I don't know, Jay, if he can bring it and get it filled out, giving us the detailed description of the property.
I didn't say vote, I'm just talking about present it tonight. Does it need to be on record?
I don't think it matters one way or the other.
Okay. Just a thought.
Well, he's got it in the, our visitors, he's got his, you know, both he and his wife's name regarding annexation at the I-65, South I-65 Service Road at Boyd's Lane, the property, discuss annexation. Okay. Well, hopefully if y'all can get it, we can do it at the next meeting, which is 2 weeks from tonight. I tell you what, we'll put that on the workshop, annexation, so if there's any questions, we can already have it addressed next Tuesday night. So hopefully it'll just be up for a vote and taken care of.
What kind of paperwork that we need to bring, or to y'all, or?
Yes, ma'am, it's in that form, you need to copy your deed, and if you got a map or survey, it doesn't have to be like from a surveyor, but map, but just so they can look at the description of the property and see where it is and what you're bringing in.
Just legal description, so we know what we're annexing in.
You do need a legal description.
Okay, Mr. Phillips,
Okay.
annexation?
Also, Mayor, I noticed that Charles Seaback was back at work, and I do want to personally thank Travis Jones for stepping up and filling in for him while he was out. And it's nice to have somebody willing to go the extra mile like that. Also, in the Public Works, Randy and the inmates we replaced street signs on Thomas and Harrison. Done the grass cutting on 43, Baker, Hartley, all the city halls they doing, you know, just trying to keep up right now with the rain and this growing. We cleaned all the ditches in Cherokee Park, and I actually have one of the residents over there send me a picture of it, said of how good a job the Public Works did over there. And I got to say, we were missing some stop signs on West Oak, South Oak, Oak Ridge Drive. Is somebody stealing their signs, or are they getting damaged?
We've definitely had some vandalism to some of the signs recently. I don't, so we probably,
So, you know, they're on order.
okay.
And like you say, you don't went over about the signs and reflectors on Juniper. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. Just so you'll know, also on that tractor, they still can't give us a delivery date.
It was supposed to be in this month.
So it was supposed to have been by the first of this month.
Right.
Okay, that's all the items from the council. So items for discussion and/or consideration. We're going to move on now. A, payment of the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $43,731.14.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Phillips to pay the bills in set amount of $43,731.14. Any questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
B, discussion and consideration of an estimate for signs by design for a sign and installation at the Bark Park entrance.
Yay. This is for the sign over the entrance to the Bark Park. So I've been working on this for a while, and I think Randy had the idea to make the sign appear similar in nature to the one that's over the splash pad. So we kind of have like a cohesive park signage thing going on. There is a quote in your packet. And this includes the sign, which I have it on my phone, I can show you, where it's like cut out. It'll have bones around it. I don't want to say too much because I want y'all to be surprised. But this also includes, are you laughing? It's okay. We can laugh. Let's get some energy in the room. Also have the rules that were approved a while back. So those will be posted on the fence, and then we'll have a sign on each side that says small dog, less than 25 pounds, large dog, 25 pounds and greater. So we'll have that. I think, did we order a water fountain? We're putting a water fountain package together, benches, trash can. I know Trish and I were working on that. On the benches. Okay, so we did see that a trash can, I don't know, did Travis pull a trash can over there? Just one of the, he's not here, but
I think he told me he had a trash can he was going to take down there a couple of
okay.
weeks ago.
We want to get like a nice, pretty trash can that has like the cover on it. Why you're laughing? But we noticed people were putting trash in the doggy bag trash can, so we don't need that. But anyways, we're very, very close. I'm excited about it. So what do I need to say about this? The money is in the budget, but we also want to run it past Kara. Kara's already looked at it. So we do have budget item for, added that, I think, last year or 2 years ago for the Magnolia Park / Bark Park. But clearly, $1,500 is not enough. So we were kindly requesting us to use the money from American Rescue Funds, since those are, this would be an approved project for those funds to be used on.
Can we add this to the workshop? I mean, we're talking about moving money from American Rescue Funds Act. That ain't been discussed tonight.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up. So if you want to need to move it to a workshop.
Right, I mean, that's a pretty serious item there, so if we can make a list of what projects you have for parks, we can go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Coming soon.
Please.
Do I need to do anything, like table it or anything? Oh, okay.
We're gonna have it on. That's gonna be on the workshop list. That's when we make workshop. C, discussion and consideration of the resignation of Sergeant Kent Sellers to be effective June the 18th in good standing.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Butler made a motion to accept the resignation in good standing, and it was seconded by Mr. Little and Mr. Skelton, but any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Let that show. All right, our next item is up. We'll let Chief Harold stand if you'd like, come up before. We have the retirement, so discussion and consideration of the retirement of Captain Janet Dukes was effective June the 1st of 2022. I think we're going to do it later on, but the agreement of the council, I don't think there was any problem, so we can on E, which is related to this, discussion, consideration of authorizing the surplus of her service weapon, a Glock 19, serial number SNBGPM 782, and the captain's badge to be presented to Captain Jana Dukes in recognition of 24 years of service.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mayor, there's a correction there. Chief Harold, when they sent the email in, the serial number is actually BGPW. That M needs to be a W. So we will change
Okay.
that on the letter as well.
Read it upside down.
Okay. We have one correction, that's a serial number, changing the M to a W. Okay. If it's okay with the council, I'll let Chief Harold speak for just a moment and then call Captain Dukes up and give her the presentation.
Do we need to vote
Yeah, I was
on
gonna
this?
say, let's make it in the form of a motion, so when he does it, it'll be official. Can I get a motion to grant the badge and the service weapon surplus?
Into retirement.
Yes, and grant the retirement. I think they could all be done as one motion.
Mike did it.
Mike,
Second. Make a motion that. Second.
motion been made by Mr. Butler, seconded by Mr. Skelton. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, Chief, floor is yours, and
Thank you, Mayor.
Granted.
Captain Dukes, please come forward. Just like to say, for the past 3.5 years, you have been my right hand. I could not have done this without you. But beyond that, the 24 years of service and dedication that you've given this city is unmatched. And you have been a loyal and true guardian of this community. And on behalf of the police department, the city of Satsuma, and all the citizens, I want to say thank you for your service.
Appreciate it.
Here I have your badge that you wore for many years.
Since 2013.
And when it was given to you, it was untarnished, and it remains that way to this day, and that's how we're going to present it to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Captain. And also, we're going to present to you your service weapon that you've just recently acquired, haven't had it quite that long, but in recognition of all your years of service and for the appreciation, it is a small token considering the sacrifices that you've made to this city, but we do want to give this to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Which one of y'all is taller?
I got on heels.
Oh, man.
I got on
She got
heels.
heels, she cheated.
Captain, I don't know if you might want to recognize your mother, kind of an icon in our community for a number of years. I didn't realize she had slipped in back there, so.
Oh, yeah. Most of you know my mother, Lois Dukes, so she's here with me tonight.
Well, we do appreciate it. Thank both of you. Once again, thanks. Okay, the next item was F. As we discussed earlier, and it was mentioned at the pre-council and also by Mr. Little, the Memorial Day event went off very nice a couple of weeks ago, and we thank everybody who participated. We have many people that volunteer around the city for these events. We have some city employees that go an extra step helping out. But there's one group that comes to town, and actually we have several members. I think y'all know them. Jackie, I'm sure I'll forget some, but you and Mr. Herring, the Driver Brothers, Mr. Brown, several that either live here in Satsuma or at least close in our community that have been very active with the Patriot Guards. they filled in a lot of things I know in Mobile and Baldwin County for the last 15 years. So anyway, they're having an event here where they're bringing in everyone from the southeast, I think it is, to be held at the Battleship. Is it still being held at the Battleship? Is that where y'all are planning to have the event? Right, I knew there were some having, anyway, they requested a donation, and they gave a letter, and I think it's in y'all's packet. I asked them to give y'all a copy requesting a donation, and I told them I felt certain that the council would be willing to assist them in that. So, if there's anything you'd like to add or tell them,
Patriot Guard, I think some of the people not familiar with the Patriot Guard. We ride escort for the veterans' funerals, and we provide a flag line at these funerals. You see us in a lot of these things, you see us riding motorcycles. All these people are volunteers. It's done at no charge whatsoever to the people there. The people furnish their own motorcycle, they furnish their own insurance, they furnish their own fuel, and they furnish their own time. So that's basically what we do. But it's a good organization, and they only do this. This is a very rare occurrence for this to take place down here. So it's not going to be a once in a while. It's going to be a very rare thing. So we're looking forward to having a good time. It's going to be. You see these motorcycles all over town. Don't run over them, please. Thank you, Mayor.
thank you, Jack. But if y'all would like to, somebody make a motion and just tell us the amount. I mean, I told them we couldn't, we're not loaded out here. We can't afford no huge donation, but I think we could afford something to show our appreciation.
Don't we have an advertisement or, yeah, don't we have a line item for, when we used
Yeah,
to
I
do
do.
like call
Let's just-
news and stuff?
Thank you, Mike, that's good.
I want to make a motion. We'll take $50,000 for that. $500. I was given a bunch, wasn't I? How about 500? Take me back.
Mike was going
Second.
to sponsor the whole event.
You've got it.
Oh, gosh.
Goodness. We have a motion from Mr. Butler. To give
Second.
a group, and seconded by Ms. Reese to give $500 to the Patriot Guard. Well, I think that's a good idea. Any discussion from any?
We appreciate it.
If there's no further discussion, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.
I tried.
G, discussion and consideration of a claim of Ernest Odom for damage done to a side mirror of a vehicle. I think that happened in with one of the lawnmowers or weed eaters, is that correct? Yes, sir. And what are the estimates? Do you have those?
You should have a copy of the claim, estimates in your packet. Thompson's paint and body was $222.99. Thompson's Body Shop was the exact same amount, $222.99. Walker's Frame and Body Shop was $202.64, making him the lowest estimate.
Well,
That'll make that kind of easy.
yep.
I'll make the motion that we pay is it 202 from Walker's
Yes, sir.
Frame and Body for the damage?
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Little, seconded by Mr. Butler to pay the estimate to Walker's regarding the repair of Mr. Odom's vehicle for the amount of $202.64. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. H, discussion and consideration of a quote for directional signs around the city from Explosive Signs.
We're going to put that on the workshop?
Yeah, yeah, I'd like to ask that to be moved to the workshop also.
I know you've been talking about it for a while. Do we want to just, if we know where it's coming from?
Okay,
I also wanted to add on that, I know you talked about, I think you mentioned Wright Park having a new sign, but if we
Ma'am, it
could,
needs-
if we could just get a new seal. I think the lettering looks fine. I passed by it again today on my way home and made a point to look at it. But if we could just get a fresh seal, I think that's really all that we need. All right.
Okay, for the workshop. We can see exactly what you want to do or go get some pictures of it so we'll have it in front of us. Yes.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little and seconded by Mr. Butler to table the motion or to add it to the workshop for next Tuesday night. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. I, discussion and consideration of approving a one-time lump sum payment for retirees in the amount of approximately $4,902.00 under Act 2022-229 from the Alabama Legislature. I had him asked you on the letter the city received a week or so ago. It's the first meeting we've had since I got the letter for y'all to review it, so
How many retirees are there?
I don't know exactly.
On that second page.
It's on the second page.
Second page.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be-
I think it had to be retired, and the letter said before March the 1st, didn't it?
I think it is dated.
It's dated, yes, sir.
Can,
But it will increase our contribution rate with her included though, so.
right, could the COVID money be used for this?
No, sir. Not use ARP money for any RSA.
Right.
Any type of retirement. And just so you know, a resolution will have to follow at the next meeting if this is approved.
So this does not go into effect until October 1 of '23.
That's correct.
So it wouldn't affect us this year.
Right.
It would be the following year.
Right. This is just a one lump sum payment that they sent out with our COLA amount that they would receive. Hasn't been done in many years, and legislation just did this. So they sent it out to all the municipalities. Most municipalities are doing it. And the payment would have to be made in October of 2022.
I think that come out, wasn't it 600 and something a piece? I believe it was. I thought I'd seen that.
It's a little different.
Is this,
It's different
this
based
what
on
we're
the
paying?
Okay,
that they took.
okay.
I don't know.
That's the additional cost.
Okay, yeah. That's what it would, that's our
What we
total.
pay? Oh, is that all we pay? I thought it was 4,900 each.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
Mayor, I'll make that motion that we, do this.
Okay.
So
Motion made by Mr. Little and seconded by Mr. Skelton to grant the raise, would be paid. I guess we'll bring it up for a resolution at the next meeting, but as far as a motion tonight to pass the resolution, any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
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 I abstain from voting on that. That covers everything on the other things.
got Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry, we did. We had item J. I'm sorry, that's an add-on. We didn't have room for an add-on. Ms. Kathy Gifford from the Community Garden came and requested to use the community center for the dates of July the 7th, 14th, 28th, and August the 4th for a course to be taught on gardening or community gardening at the community center from 6 to 7:30 p.m. She asked for waiver of the fee for them to use the facility. I asked her to come before the council tonight. I told her I didn't think if it wasn't rented, and according to the city clerk, it's not rented, that there would be any problem with them using that for a classroom setting. So, Ms. Reese, I think you had told her you would put that in form of a motion.
Oh,
Earlier.
sure. I make the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Reese, seconded by Mr. Phillips to allow the Community Garden Club to use the community center on those dates and times for a classroom setting for the garden. Any discussion?
Can I put that, I guess this would be to benefit the entire city, open to the public.
I think,
I just want to make sure that it's not like a private event.
no, it's, I think.
So it's, it would, benefit all citizens.
It's open to everyone, I think. I don't know if there's a limit how many people they can get in there, but, yeah, it's open to everyone. I'm sorry if we didn't have that listed.
Mayor, the only thing I was concerned with was as many dates as they wanted there, but it is on a Thursday night. I think, a lot of our rentals is on the weekend. So, since it was not, taken already, I'm fine.
Okay, motion been made by Allison, seconded by Mr. Phillips. No further discussion. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Show it passed.
Need to set your work session.
I need a motion to set a workshop for next Tuesday night at 6 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Mayor,
Motion
we
made.
might need to back that up to about 5:30 with all them things we've been adding, if that's okay, if that's okay with everybody.
I can make 5:30.
Run into dinner.
I'll be late at 5:30.
You'll be late? Well, we can do it at 6, that's fine. I was just, be a good suggestion.
Bring a sandwich if you get hungry.
Okay.
We
Okay.
can keep it at 6.
Mr. Phillips made a motion, schedule a workshop for next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Motion seconded by Mr. Little. I know we've got some subdivision regulations, the Go Mesa project, or I think we're just going to put parks. Leave it at parks improvements. That's a lot of topics there. And also the discussion of the Steel Creek lots on Laurel, possible subdividing and sale of those.
May I clarify, you got the answer stations, the planning, subdivision, park improvements, the signs, as well as Laurel Drive.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Is it possible to get one of the reports that shows what we've spent for the year and the balance for that meeting?
Do my best. We're still working on April.
Okay. Thank you.
Motion been made and seconded to set the workshop for this listed items for next, or the listed agenda issues for next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, make sure we get that posted, please. Okay, in our ordinance, I'd ask that we send a resolution thanking two members of South Alabama Regional Planning for the many years of service, actually over 60 years between the two of them. Those have been around a long time. I think most of you know Mr. Kevin Harrison, who's been very active with the MPO regarding streets throughout all of Mobile and Baldwin County, actually South Alabama, and also Diane Burnett, who was helped us with the planning regulations, subdivision ordinances, senior programs, I think at one time years ago, before it became a separate entity in itself down there. So these two resolutions, the first one is 2022-05-03, whereas the city is a member of our local government of South Alabama Regional Planning, everybody refers to as Sharpsy, And whereas the program to service community development, employment, economic development, grant administration, senior and social services, transportation, planning to the city of Satsuma. Whereas Sharpsey's Transportation Planning Department has provided administration of the Mobile Metropolitan Planning Organization, MPO, for the urbanized area of Mobile County, and whereas the Transportation Department has assisted the city of Satsuma with numerous projects and funding partnerships over the years, whereas Mr. Kevin Harrison has served as the Director of the Transportation Department and has surpassed his job duties to ensure the Satsuma's needs have been met in his tireless efforts on behalf of the city, whereas Kevin Harrison will be retiring from his service after a full and productive career in public service. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Satsuma offers its sincere gratitude and appreciation for Mr. Kevin Harrison's public service and dedication to the City of Satsuma. Be it further resolved that the City Council authorizes Mayor Mark Barlow to sign this resolution and approve this adopted 7th day of June 2022. Can I get that in form of a motion to grant the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little and seconded by Mr. Skelton to grant the resolution as 220503 for Kevin Harrison. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
And the second one, I'm not going to read it out. It basically says the same thing, thanking Diane Burnett, and that's resolution number 2022-05-04. And the same thing, just giving basically Diane's contributions that she's made in her stuff.
Make
Both
that
of them will be
motion.
missed.
Second.
Again, a motion made by Mr. Little, seconded by Ms. Reese. No further discussion. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
And we got one more item for Civil Southeast. Resolution 2022-06-01. This is a resolution now authorizing Civil Southeast to make application to ALDOT for the sidewalk improvements. And it's what we voted on and discussed at the last meeting, but we did not have a resolution. So
I'll
Is
make
there-
the motion.
Second.
I don't think, since it was discussed at length, it needs to be read to you at the last one. Okay, is any discussion? Motion been made by Mr. Butler, seconded by Mr. Skelton. Pass Resolution 2022-06-01, a resolution authorizing Civil Southeast LLC to make application to ALDOT for the sidewalk improvements. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.
Was there,
Go ahead.
is that resolution in our packet?
It was in mine with the others.
It's behind the other two.
Behind the other two.
They were in these down here. We have addressed all the people that was listed to come before the council tonight and all those that requested to come forth. We've had a pretty good attendance tonight with a lot of people. We had some swearing in of a new board member, the school board attending, retirement of a longtime police official, and dedication. So we got a lot done. We got a workshop scheduled for next Tuesday night. I don't know of anything else that we need to bring before the council. So if there's nothing else, motion to adjourn?
I have something.
Yes, ma'am.
I just got the email about the municipal dinner for the month. So it looks like it's Thursday, June 16th at 7 o'clock at Government Plaza.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I guess let Heather know. I just got it. I hadn't looked at my calendar. I do not know.
They did. If you all know, if you're attending the municipal dinner next Thursday night, please let Heather know and give her a few days' notice, or Miss Pollard's doing it next.
I move we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you all again for attending tonight.